He's not bad, this kid.
He's all right. He's all right. He's made his way out of the pond. Schalke still looking for that gap for his initial pass.
So Fish with a lovely little juke. Ilbilly taken out by Hasselhoff, and he'll have to recycle back. But he's in no mad rush to. He trusts his teammates, Boss Bear, Alex Tyler, and Giggity. Although Giggity will now go to the box.
I do believe that was for a forearms penalty. I'll tell you what we've seen a lot of so far today, King. It's been a lot of goating with mixed results.
Yeah, it's something I like. It's better than sort of the passive offence.
Yeah.
So England now have 2 in the box as Boss Bear has joined Giggity. So that's Ilbilly and Alex Tyler, perhaps better known to fans of Tyne and Fair as Chemical.
Absolutely. A lot of skaters skating under their legal, quote, names as they skate for their national teams, which totally understandable. Totally understandable that to want to represent your country in your name, but it does make things, can be a little confusing for the disconcerting fan.
This is true. However, I've been looking forward to this, seeing this guy in a Team France shirt. This 2-2-3 from the Pan Am squad, Pupa Test. And he's up against number 17, Sully, who's got the right shirt on now.
He has got the right shirt on. For any of you that saw today's earlier game, from what I understand, Sully left his white shirt at home, so he did skate with 25 Bosch. But I interrupt myself. Pupa Test not proving to be as interesting as we'd hoped. Straight through, picking up lead for France.
So Pupa Test, he's not a small guy, he's deceptively strong. And he really does cover the ground, but he's covering the ground to the penalty box as he's picked up a back block. So that will put Sully on the power jam for Team England. Oh, big hit from Skarenex. Angry Bear dancing around, and Skarenex gets the takeout hit. Angry Bear trying the Ninja Cut, but Sully's wise to it.
Sully taking another look at that wall, 2 at the back, 2 at the front, if he manages to get past those back 2.
And he does, he comes up now. It's Spider Biscott, Skarenex, but Angry Bear's got back up there very quickly as well. But Sully gets through. That is 4 points. It's his first 4 points. Pupa Test about to rejoin behind Sutton Impact.
I get the distinct feeling that we might see some jammer on jammer action right now.
No, Pupa decided better of it. Just decided to go in and try and put those first French points on the board. Leaving it to Spider Biscott, 17 on 17 to do the takeout.
Fair enough. As you will recall, folks, Pupa Test picking up lead jammer in this jam before heading to the box, so this will run for the full 2 minutes.
Sully there, skating at speed, straight into Bernie Nohal and subsequently bouncing off. Sutton with the takeout on Pupa Test, forcing him back to recycle. Bodies flying everywhere. I think everybody will be needing a break at the end of this jam.
Very likely. Sully through with another pass.
4 points signalled by, I believe that is Rolling Rat, the jam ref. A little bit of hitting going on in the pack, primarily with Sutton Impact. I'm sure that's a surprise to many.
I personally can't believe it. It is an absolute shock to me.
But we have, that was an 11.28 jam win for England, so with just under 22 minutes to go. Scores England 50, France on 8.
England racking up a very speedy early lead, but I think, especially having seen Pupa Test in that last jam, I think France have got a couple of things in their sac magique that they'll be able to pull out and use as this game progresses.
Oh, very nice. Just showing off now. So we have Reaper 666, and I believe he's up against Rocket Bush 129 for Team France. Reaper taking out combination of Elgato and Hasselhoff. Out of play, allows Reaper to come back on. So Reaper's bouncing around. This time it's Banks, a.k.a. Tomahawk, for those of you that know him from Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder, recycling Rocket Bush. Reaper with a jump and a spin, lead jammer.
Yep, Banks there, picking up a low block on Rocket Bush. Giggity picking up a cut track. Blockers heading to the box, left, right and centre for Team England.
Reaper's through. So watching his bench manager just running as much time as he can off the penalties for Giggity and Banks that are in the box. But once again, this is a 4-on-2 pack advantage for Team France. And they have sent the cleaner. 1631. Can he clean up? He will be up against 100. Alien Al. Interesting to see no Kylian David skating in this game.
Interesting indeed. I'm a little bit sad. I'm a fan of his skills.
I think most people that have seen him skate are. I don't know, is he being saved for the games tomorrow? Is he carrying an injury? He is here. I have seen him.
Only time will tell. Both jammers being taken off and reset as we get this jam started. The cleaner, your foremost jammer. Those two blockers, Piston broke and Shrooms to get past. He makes it through. No pass, no penalty, so he is not your lead jammer. Everything's still open for Alien Al.
So Shrooms is going to the box. Cleaner did get through, picked up how many points? 1, 2. Is that going to go to 3? I can't see it. Yep, 3 points. England still have one in the box. That time now it is Shrooms. France also have one in the box. I believe that is Skaranex. And they have sent up number 18. That is Charlecoeur. And he is up against the boy Fish. I have to call him the boy Fish because his dad's here, and his dad is Big Fish, for those of you that know him.
I really, really hope that Barrow get a small skater that they call Cardboard Box. It's a dream of mine.
Big Fish, Little Fish, Cardboard Box.
It's got to happen sometime. Meanwhile, back on this current track, Fish with a juke and a dodge and a dive through the pack picks up lead jammer, but Charlecoeur is only about a quarter of a track behind him.
So French will take the front. Mirage losing his footing slightly. Good work from the English. They managed to knock one off, and with the one in the box, pick up the ghost point. So 18 and a half minutes, 56-11 in favour of England in the red.
Still a relatively low-scoring game in comparison to what we've seen so far today.
Yeah, England were very, very strong this morning against the power of Scotland. What really stood out for me was the defensive walls and the strength.
Absolutely.
And trying to get through that strength this time will be Pourpatest, and he's up against Sully.
Sully finding that outside line wide open, runs down the line, picks up lead. Pourpatest one blocker left, and he does get past him. Shrooms not quite enough to hold him back.
Oh, Sully, that is huge. No wonder he's celebrating that one. He almost flew to Calgary in one jump then.
Certainly would have saved himself some cash on the flights. And of course, you mentioned in Calgary, of course, this is, for us, this is the start of our hashtag Road to Calgary in the lead up to the Men's Roller Derby World Cup next year in Calgary, Canada.
So it's the build-up for the skaters, it's the build-up for the referees, the NSOs, and of course the announcers.
And the fans.
And the fans, of course. How can I forget the fans?
I saw a flurry of ticket purchases being advertised on Facebook yesterday along with Rollercon tickets.
Yes, I'm not envious about Rollercon at all. No, not that I'm not going.
No,
not at all.
Not me, no.
Well, I am hoping to be, I will be in Calgary. I'm just hoping to be announcing.
We
But anyway,
can but hope.
back to the action. It is Rocket Bush for France, but lead jammer, although he has company, is Reaper.
Literally only about 2 or 3 strides ahead.
And so you got to say fair play to Rocket Bush. He kept up with Reaper. You don't see that very often. And we have a 1-1 score draw on that jam. So Reaper didn't skate this morning. So England team have made 6 changes from the team that skated. I think they are intending to give all 20 of their roster at least 2 outings this weekend.
Sounds fair, and I mean across the board it is a strong lineup. So it's not like if we're losing so-and-so that we're going to be at any kind of disadvantage.
Exactly. So looking to take advantage here is Alien Al. He's up against the cleaner for Team France. Angry Bear doing all sorts of somersaults and black flips and cartwheels. But he's straight back up and straight back into it. Bodies jumping here, there and everywhere. I hope the referees and the skaters know what's going on because I lost track of what was happening there.
A little bit.
Oh, very nice.
That was a thing of beauty. The cleaner up on his toe stops along that inside line, picking up lead jammer status. That.
Yep. It's, kind of lost for words.
Should have sent a poet. Cleaner making his way to that pack. Got in, picked up a single point, called off the jam. And although it was only 1 point, he shut down England. They picked up nothing in that jam.
So that was a big hit from Spectral Aberration at the end there. Let's say that's 61 plays 13, 15 minutes to go. England in the red, France in the blue, and we have Fish for Team England, and that is Charles Lecour for Team France.
Boss Bear looking to go into that France wall, trying to break it up, make some space for Fish to get through. Hillbilly doing a follow-up there. All the England skaters working well as a team, but also knowing when to break off and work independently to try and assist their jammer.
Oh, ooh, interesting. Charles Lecour is through. Hillbilly's going to the box. Fish having a tough time, dodges at Hasselhoff. Boss Bear went for the big hit. Charles Lecour made him look stupid.
Charles Lecour bagging 4 points, calling off the jam with Fish still about 15 feet away from the pack.
So we will have 3-on-3.
Blockers bookending that penalty box.
I think it's certainly... Oh, we have a timeout being signalled by Team France. Certainly it's Hillbilly sat for Team England. I believe it's El Gasso sat down for Team France. So just a reminder for tomorrow. Keep doing that. I keep forgetting this has been recorded and not actually on the live feed.
And when we say tomorrow, we mean that you can probably just go and watch this as soon as you finish this game. For us,
pretty much.
Tomorrow.
For us, it's tomorrow. 3 more games. As I can say, this is the 3rd game of the tournament. I don't have the scores to hand, but England won quite convincingly. First up against the Power of Scotland. And then Wales also beat the Power of Scotland. I think it was just under 100 points was the margin at the end of that one.
Thereabouts.
So this is France's debut in the tournament.
Indeed. They will be getting us started tomorrow up against Team Wales. I think that's probably going to be quite an interesting lineup.
Yeah, that should be a corker.
Our in-house announcer, Nasty Moves, has just taken our sheet. So at some point we'll tell you what else is on. But odds are you'll be looking on YouTube.
Nasty by name, nasty by nature. Yeah, the second game tomorrow is the exhibition game. It's mixture of Welsh and English women skaters. So it's Team Wagland versus Team Frotland, a mixture of France and Scotland. Scotland, France, and the final game will be Wales, England. So that'll probably be the last on the playlist as you're watching. But back to the action. We have Poupa Test for France in the blue up against number 17. That is Sully for Team England in red. And Sully with a duck and a dive and a spin is your lead jammer.
Yeah, dropping that shoulder just on the outside line, managing to save himself from what could have been a pretty hench hit. Managing to pick up that lead. Poupa Test been set back just little bits, but it all makes a difference when you're still trying to get that initial pass.
Inside line opened wide up. Not sure what quite happened there. The French were not paying attention. Sully was. He saw it.
Looks like Poupa Test saw that helmet cover removed, was wondering if he was going to go for the pass or the stash, but he's just popped it back in his head and he's going to carry on working that wall.
Hillbilly's in the box again. Sutton impact with the exit hit once more and going back with Don Giovanni.
Sully going in hard into that France wall, trying to break him up. But he himself taken off on the inside, just set back. And sometimes it's the small margins that really make the difference.
So 3-2-2. El Gato this time has recycled Sully back. The star pass has been completed to Skedo next. El Gato again with the takeout on Sully. But that was another 8 points, I believe, picked up by Team England.
Yeah, bringing the score 17 to France, 69 to England, 12 minutes and change remaining of this first half. I know I probably shouldn't say it, but we're starting ourselves with an empty penalty box. Reaper up to jam for Team England.
And he's up against, that is Rocket Bush.
Thank you very much. defensive start to the jam.
Hasselhoff is trying to make a nuisance of himself in that England wall. Someone's going to the box. It is Hasselhoff. No pass, no penalty signalled on Reaper, so door's still open for Rocket Bush. And he's through. He's got through. Reaper's already in scoring, so it's one of those where you might as well run it for try and get the points. Plus, you've got one in the box. Oh, he's just taken out on the outside. It's a skating out of bounds penalty has been called. That's on the far side from us, so we can't see it. I don't think you can either, although we've got the one camera operated by the legend that is Fen Will I Be Famous.
He is not only our tournament head announcer this weekend, he is, of course, our official tournaments Fen.
Yes, official tournaments Fen.
Always need one of those.
So Reaper having just juking around, making Mirage see things.
Is he there? Is he not? Oh. Meanwhile, Hasselhoff going mano a mano with Bear, managing to break himself out. Looked like they were going to try and goat him at the back there.
So Reaper looking a little fatigued. This jam will go the 2 minutes because Rocket Bush did have lead after the no pass, no penalty, but having then picked up the penalty himself for the skating out of bounds.
Rocket Bush back on track, trying to figure out a way to get around that brace three wall of Team England.
Sudden burst of speed there from Reaper, gets him through, picks up 5 more.
Meanwhile, Rocket Bush says, I see your burst of speed, and I raise you my own. Makes his way through for a 4-point pass.
So last 10 seconds of the jam. Can any more points be picked up by either jammer? Reaper looks like he may have picked up a couple.
But he was taken off and set back round to turn 1. 1 point for Rocket Bush, 1 point for Reaper.
Yeah, looks like it was 1 each.
Although total, that power jam, of course, big difference for Team England. 20-point jam for Reaper there.
So once more we have Sully taking the start for Team England in the red. And he will be up against the Cleaner. So Cleaner will be hoping not to make a mess of this.
You're on a roll, King. You're on a roll. Both jammers really throwing themselves into those walls, trying to find those gaps. And again, Sully getting so low on that outside, managing to duck beneath the buttocks of his opposing blockers.
I believe Sully is still only 20.
You're kidding me.
Well, yeah, he can't be any more than that because he might be just 21 because he was 19 at the World Cup. And that was a little over 18 months ago, so he might be 21 now.
Wow. He currently has been taken off track. He's been set back. Scarenex has got him in his sights.
No, he doesn't.
It's the curse of the announcer, God damn it.
So he ducked so low there to get under Freaky Vincent. And then tied up on the outside, quick jink inside, 5 more. Successful, oh no. Now that's not, I like it when there is a star pass violation, and quite often you see the pivot keep going, thinking they're the jammer. Scarenex realised and stopped, has gone back, has given the star to his jammer, the Cleaner, who will have to do another lap before he sits down. So that'll be a 30-second full power jam at the start for England.
I've got to say that, as he said, Scarenex went back. Angry Bear threw a massive, massive hit to Sully, knocked him clean off his skates. Sully's kind of got up, realised that it's power jam territory, and he's called that fresh set of legs on. Although Finn's in this case, fish up to jam. 7.5 minutes remaining, 98 points to England, 22 to France.
So England trying to get a goat, but Mirage with a burst of speed avoiding that. But Fish again with his own acceleration gets through, picks up lead jammer for Team England. And coming in on a scoring pass, Ilbilly trying to open the door on the inside. Ooh. Who was that? That was Elgato with a takeout, but he's now been taken out himself and recycled, and he'll be goated by the English pack.
France with that very, very sturdy braced 3-wall, which I'm from now on going to refer to as the Triangle of Doom. El Gato heading to the penalty box.
And he's going to be followed by Banks. And he's also going to be followed by Fish, who's picked up a track cut.
Change of fortune, the cleaner now. Not lead jammer, but this is a power jam for France. 3-on-3 pack, both teams with one blocker in that penalty box. England now going for the Triangle of Doom. Or Le Triangle de Doom. For those of you watching in French, maybe. Feel free to correct me. At Snoogans37 on Twitter, feel free. Meanwhile, the cleaner bagging 5 points on a Grand Slam pass.
So he comes up to the wall, there he is. Giggity's there. Ilbilly, and I think that's Alex Tyler. Multiplayer block called on John Travoltage. And a star pass. We have Banks. I have to think then what his name is for this tournament. He's taken the star. 3 points picked up. I think Fish had already got those before he got the penalty. But Banks is, for his home league, Lincolnshire Rolling Thunder, he does jam quite a bit, so this isn't strange territory for him.
Absolutely beautiful footwork coming towards us on that straightaway as he's trying to sort of fake out and get around those French blockers, managing to evade them. After a little bit of work, though, they didn't give it up easy.
Absolutely. He picks up the 5 points. So with just over 5 minutes to go. Oh, what have we got going on here?
Looks like Team England calling a team timeout.
Oh, is it a team timeout? I didn't know if it was a timeout or a review. So 5 minutes, 5 seconds to go. England in the red on 106 and France in the blue are on 32.
So, King, after the last game, I saw that there was a trophy awarded from, I believe, Talk Derby to Me. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Talk Derby to Me is a roller derby podcast based here in the UK. The main host is, and it's his baby is Macklemore.
Absolutely.
Who those of you who were at either World Cup last year, men's or women's, would have heard him, his dulcet Scottish tones.
Dulcet indeed.
It's his show. It's a show that I quite often, via the wonders of Skype, co-host with him, along with new co-host Cray Cray. And we came up with the idea between myself, Macklemore, and Statman.
Brilliant.
To have a little trophy as a challenge between Scotland and Wales.
Okay.
And we called it the Celtic Cup, presented by Talk Derby to Me.
Nice.
And any time Scotland play Wales, men, women, co-ed, junior,
nice,
that trophy's up for grabs.
I like that a lot.
So it was a silly little idea that we came to. The men's and women's teams for both nations, obviously there aren't junior or co-ed yet.
Yep.
All have said, yep, sounds like a great idea, let's do it. Massive thank yous to the organisers of LIST for allowing us to do it here.
Absolutely.
And yeah, absolutely brilliant. But back to the game on track. Charles Leclerc versus Alien Al. Alien Al already out lead Jammer. That took about 3 seconds.
Right there, an unidentified jamming object. People weren't sure if they'd seen him. Was it real? Yes, it is. He's through on a natural Grand Slam.
Skarenek certainly didn't see him there, but he felt him as Al dropped him as he went through there on turn one.
Definitely. Al going for an apex jump. Not
Angry
successful.
Angry Bear was the one who saw that coming. That time he dodges the hit from Jean Travoltage. Don Giovanni going for a multiplayer block. Piston broke with a great hit on Charlecourt and the Soul Crusher all the way back to turn two.
That may be the tidiest shoulder check I've ever seen.
However, Charlecourt is back up. Oh, bodies flying everywhere.
Skarenek and Piston broke, having a chest beating match. Just kind of bump, bump, bump again and again. Angry Bear heading to the penalty box right at the end of that jam for a forearms.
I wasn't sure. I thought for a second that was on the England jammer. From the way that the jam referee, Roland Rout, was signalling it and where he chased after the jammer, I thought that was on there. But we now have an official review. I wonder if it is on the forearms and then going to look for maybe a track cut or a skating out of bounds on Alien Al. Or maybe there was something else that I didn't see during that jam. There was a lot that happened.
I was going to say it's very possible that we've missed something. I do believe that was called by Team France. As soon as we know the outcome of that, our brilliant alt refs will come and let us know, and we'll feed that back to you guys. And of course, if it impacts the game, doubly let you know.
No, we might just keep it to ourselves and keep it quiet.
Just tuck it in the back pocket there.
Yeah, exactly.
3 minutes and 47 seconds remaining of this first half. France 32 points. England's racing out ahead with 120. Much like the regime game that we had earlier, I don't feel the score is reflecting the play of game.
No.
Incredibly physical on both sides, incredibly tactical on both sides. But England just managing to get those extra lead jammer statuses, managing to bag a couple more power jams. That's really racing them ahead and pushing that lead out for them.
I have to say I was extremely honoured and very, very happy that I got to do the call for that. I did the in-house call for the Vagine regime game. I was also lucky enough to go to ECDX earlier in the year.
Absolutely.
And saw quite a few of the skaters, Mad Maloney, Blow Me, Panic at the Hex, Polygamy Winehouse, Domino Effect are all part of Team Stockholm, who were out there and did very well. And Sweetheart was there as well with Gotham at the time. Now she's back with Stockholm. So it was brilliant to see them, and also obviously the other skaters as well. Absolutely awesome game to watch. For those of you, obviously this is the road to Calgary. If you are looking for more information, it's MRDWC, Men's Roller Derby World Cup, MRDWC.com. Also, you can find them on Facebook and quite probably on Twitter as well. So that, I think, was on turn one when Alien Al came through, and I think it was Scaran X, the pivot, that he skated into. I did wonder at the time where the contact was. That's what Team France were questioning. It's decided that the contact was to a legal target area. No call stands. France lose their official review. But we have a new jammer for Team England. Who is it, Snoogans?
Giggity!
Giggity, giggity!
Giggity, giggity, giggity!
Yeah, it's such a shame that he's changed his name, they're changing the rules, so he's now number 900, whereas those that used to know him used to be G00, so he just go, giggity, giggity, goo. I miss that. Whose idea was it to take the letters out? It's a silly idea. But Pooper Test is through as well. He's completed his initial pass, but Giggity gets through his scoring pass. Angry Bear stood there, his head dropped as he's in the box, so they called it just before he could leave the box. So it'll still be a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Team England. And this time we have Fish. We've seen him jam lots before.
Lots. Also that we've seen jam quite a bit already today. Rocket Boosh 129.
Ooh, Rocket Boosh.
Rocket Boosh.
Not quite the Mighty Boosh, but Rocket Boosh.
I feel he may be better than the Mighty Boosh, just putting it out there. Although I did have a crimp earlier with one of our crew heads, Dr. Stevel. I'll tell you about that at half time.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back on track, Fish picking up lead jammer, taking a slide along turn 2 there. I know the floor is blue and it does look slightly oceanic, but, you know.
So we do have Rocket Bush through. He's completed his initial pass. There's Freaky Vincent and Sudden Impact getting into some... Oh, hello!
I do believe that's the first time today that we've had a skater make their way to our suicide seats. Yeah,
actually to make it 2. There's a few that have made it close. However, Rocket Bush and the fans, it's actually the French fans, were saved by our fantastic OPR, Righteous Oxide. We managed to grab hold of him and stop him from quite going in at any damage.
Possibly only the second or third time we've seen him jam today. Shrooms putting on the start for Team England.
And he is up against the cleaner.
Pack advantage now in favour of France. 4 blockers plays 3.
So that's something I've seen a little bit with Team England earlier today and here now, is they are mixing the jammer rotation up. At the World Cup last year, they just had that primarily 3 with an occasional 4 jammer rotation.
I do feel I need to interrupt you slightly there. Cleaner just managing to play a bit of 5th blocker action at the back of the pack, clipped Shrooms off, took him back, not all the way, we didn't have ourselves any negative pack pace, but just enough for one of his own blockers to get round.
I don't know, I hope you saw Piston Broke coming out of the pack there as he came out of the box straight in and just ran over the French pivot.
Boom.
Yeah, take a seat, son. Oh. Shrooms just loses his foot in. Strong four-wall at the front. Shrooms, he's just avoided any cuts.
Suits him, sir. Suits him.
Failure to reform on Asselhoff. Doesn't look best pleased, but he is through. He is going to the box.
Nice little skip and a jump along the apex there by Candeleros.
And that time the cleaner does take out Shrooms. It must have been, a part of me would be tempted as a cleaner to take him way back since you've taken him to the outside. Just try and run a bit of time off. Shrooms is scoring. Cleaner is still on his initial pass. And Shrooms calls the jam off. And unless we have a timeout or official review, that will do it for the half. 4, 3, 2, 1. Half time.
Half time indeed. Scores sitting France 32, England 135. We're going to have a brief intermission, but of course for you this will just continue seamlessly with the powers of the future.
Yep, see you in a bit.
So we are just getting back to the action right now. England 135, France 32. And we are straight in with it. We've got Pupertest jamming for Team France.
And that is Reaper for Team England.
Thank you. I couldn't spot him in the fracas. See him clear as day now, coming straight down the straightaway towards us. Lead jammer over Pupertest.
With his lovely ginger beard.
It's looking mighty fine.
So Pupertest having a tough time. That's a strong four-wall. Reaper picks up a forearms penalty.
This means, although he is still stuck in that pack, Pupertest is on a power jam now for Team France.
So just a little side note, the teams have not swapped benches at half-time. You don't have to. It isn't in the rules that you have to, but usually it is done anyway. Ilbilly's gone for a multiplayer block. So that's Jammer and Pivot currently in the box for England. Some offense come flying in, but Banks and Tyler both ride the hit. Kendall Hadol will go to the box. Pupertest has completed initial pass. Reaper's with him. Jammer on Jammer, and Reaper has taken out Pupper. But Pupper's not playing that game.
No. Pupper's like, I will play the wetting game, monsieur.
I think Reaper's quite happy to wait until Ilbilly is back on track before he comes back forward. So it just reminds me of the second Men's European Roller Derby Championships.
Yep.
When it was Dark Matter for Tyne and Fear. Oh, Reaper, no. He's going to go to the box for that.
Do you know what? As he landed that, the briefest of glances as his foot, and I was like, I think that wheel was, and before the thought had finished in my mind, the whistle was blown for the cutting penalty.
Yeah, it's just from slightly different position. I had slightly different view.
Both jammers managing to pick up points in those scoring passes, but with Reaper in the box for that cut, it does mean we're going to start on a power jam for France.
We may do, we may not. Bench Rob Barnes-Graham is questioning with Rolling Rat the lack of a track cut call, but it is just a question, it's not an official review. Yeah, as I was saying, with Reaper with that, I actually saw, I heard his wheels roll over the rope as much as anything. So, Rocket Bush, what can he do?
He has wow, that was a hell of a hit.
You don't see that very often. You don't see Sutton pushed back by a jammer. But, well, apart from Optimus Grime this morning, but that's Optimus Grime, you kind of expect that.
That man is in a league of his own.
Well, he is a competitive bodybuilder as well.
I know.
But he's also one of the nicest people you could wish to meet.
No pass, no penalty for Reaper there with a spin and a twist, heading off track. Rocket Boosh over the moon with that 5-point pass as he called the jam.
But those points, I think, belong to Scare X, who went back and did a lovely seal on the outside to allow him through.
Oh, yes.
So we have number 5, Fish for England in the red, versus number 18, Charles Lecour. It's a 99-point game at the minute. 139 plays 40.
We do like some easy announcer maths. Charles Lecour going straight in, throwing his hips into that red England sand wedge.
Tyler and Asserhoff both trying to draw track cuts on different people. Skating out of bounds penalty, sorry, a blocking out of bounds penalty, my apologies, on Fish, which allows the power jam and Charles Lecour lead jammer. Asserhoff takes a trip to the box. I did have a quick look at the penalty board at half time. It was surprisingly clean.
Boss Bear with shoulder after shoulder, managing to take Charles Lecour off track, but he sets himself back on with brilliant speed, so he's not actually taken really any distance back at all, but
So
it did give space for England to wall up back in front of him.
Looks from here that he just pushed his backside out a little bit, so he got hips behind hips. I think he's just done it there again.
That was essentially a block explosion. I didn't see the impact, but I just saw sort of a kablamo of bodies.
Charles Lecour calls off the jam. He got 4.
Managing to call that jam before Fish even made his way round for an initial pass.
So we now have Leclerc jamming for Team France. He's up against Alien Al in the red for Team England. 25 minutes of the second half to go. 139 plays 44 in favour of England. Scanner next picks up the multiplayer block as Alien Al gets through. Here's your lead jammer.
The cleaner juking and jiving, trying to get round. Meanwhile, Alien Al takes out, I believe...
It was Asselhoff.
It was Asselhoff. As he makes his way through for a Grand Slam pass. Tries to go for it again. It's taken off and set back.
Asselhoff picked up the penalty. I think it was a low block. Couldn't quite see the ref signal from here. But Alien Al picks up another 5 points. So strong England defence. Just as I say that. Oh, Alien Al with the big hit on the cleaner. Don Gingiovanni is on it in a flash. Sutton comes in as well, thinking it looks like fun to beat up the French jammer.
Bullet!
Oh, Alien Al proving that he can do the air miles as well as anybody. 20 points so far on this jam.
I've got to say, as far as jams go, this is quite a beautiful jam.
Yes. There's a lot to talk about. Asselhoff now coming in. Asselhoff might go for... He's gone for something. He's taken himself off to the box.
He knows.
I think he's going to be joined as well by Spider Biscott for continuing to block out of play. Yeah, he got his hands outstretched to prove he wasn't doing anything but leaning in with his body. Good move there from the cleaner to dodge past Sutton impact.
Shrooms heading to the box for what I believe was a failure to reform. Means that the next jam we're going to start with just 5 blockers on track.
3 for England, 2 for France. And that was 29 points from Alien Al. And he probably made at least 9 of those himself with that hit on the cleaner, which allowed Don Gingiovanni was the quickest to react and swallow the cleaner back up into the pack.
Yeah, at that point, the cleaner was pretty much out of the pack. And that blow from Al just cleaned house.
Yep, and he followed it up with an apex jump for good measure. This time we have 223 Poopa test, and he's up against number 900. That is Giggity. Poopa has lost his star, but I don't think he knows.
Second time today I have been reminded of Team Japan at the World Cup.
It is now. It was Kendall Hero was trying to signal to Poopa test, and then now Boss Bear trying to stop him going backwards to pick it up. But he does. Very smart though. He went down with one knee just inside the track. Sorry, just on the track still, and put one hand down so no one could drop back and force the cut.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of cuts, there goes Giggity. I think that was Elgato that time with a ninja cut course in it. So it'll be a power jam for 30 seconds for Pooper Test.
Almost sort of redeeming the fact that he dropped that helmet cover at the start of the jam, preventing him from being able to pick up the lead. Will he be able to redeem that?
Spider Biscott will go to the box. It's great work from Banks and Shrooms at the front. Pooper Test very smart, making sure that he didn't go back far enough to cut. But the Shrooms and Banks do a great job, and Banks sees a gap up the inside line. Shrooms follows him from almost the apex of turn 3 and 4 to the exit of turn 2. That is a soul crush.
That right there is how you defend a power jam. Giggity back on track and scoring.
That's not so much a power jam as a power cut, that one. And Boss Bear decides he's going to have a go and hits Pooper Test, although Hasselhoff stops Boss Bear going too far back. Giggity racks up another 5 points, 15 and counting. He may have time for one more pass. Clockwise block on Elgato.
Giggity there trying to go for some nice footwork, trying to step along that inside line to make his way around those blockers. Picks up 2 points.
So despite the fact that Pooper Test had a power jam, no points picked up.
No
Shroom.
pass.
Exactly. God, yeah. Shrooms, Tyler, Banks and Boss Bear very, very pleased with that, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. Next up for this jam, we've got Reaper jamming for Team England, and I do believe that's Rocket Bush.
Rocket Bush.
Rocket Bush. My French accent isn't as good as it used to be. I do apologise. Both jammers really pushing against those walls, trying to drive. England with a pack advantage at the moment. Blocker in the box from the previous jam, and Blocker heading to the box for this jam.
And so's the England jammer. Reaper's going for a track cut. Freaky Vincent picked up a low block penalty.
As he sees Reaper overtake him to head to the box, I think I saw the slightest of smirks. It was like,
yeah, you kind of feel better if you're going to the box as a blocker and then you see the opposition jammer going with you. You think, yeah, okay, I don't matter so much.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
So Rocket Bush, but there is still 4 England blockers out there. Don Gingiovanni inviting Rocket Bush to meet the inside of the track. So trying to see who's on there along. As Piston Broke is there. Sutton Impact is there. Ooh, nearly from Rocket Bush, but he realises and recycles. Reaper burst of speed round the outside, but taken out. Both jammers going backwards around the outside of turn 2.
Sudden Impact taking Rocket Bush. Mirage taking
Reaper.
Thank you.
We all have those brain freeze moments.
Absolutely. Both jammers just... We've almost got like a rugby style scrum going on. It's a solid pack.
Reaper with a lovely little hop just round the outside of Mirage. Picks up 4 points.
Things getting rather physical in the midst of the pack. Reaper taking full advantage of the confusion and the fray to make his way through.
Although I think Don Gingiovanni was waiting for that one. Piston Broke didn't even wait for, as soon as he heard the whistle he was gone. He didn't even wait for the number.
However, Rocket Bush picking up
Lead jammer.
I hadn't realised that
Reaper went on his initial pass for the cup.
He did.
I'd forgotten that until they blew it, but...
Well,
196 plays 44 now in favour of Team England. Just under 18 minutes to go. Reaper slowly making his way back to the bench. You always concerned about Reaper.
Always.
Of course, he missed the World Cup final through an injury that he picked up against France. But we have Charles Leclerc up against Fish. 4-on-2 a pack advantage for the boys in blue.
Charles Leclerc, however, fighting against Ilbilly and Banks. He's managing to drive them forwards.
No pack called, so the French wall has to move forwards. Fish trying to make his way through. We have an all fall down on turn 2.
Angry Bear with a really quick recovery, making his way straight back to the front of the pack.
Along with Bernie No Hell there. The last 2. Now it's just Bernie. Angry Bear gets back in again. Bernie drops back. Out of play called. Lead jammer goes to Fish. I think Banks and Ilbilly need to take a bow on that one. It started with just the two of them and managed to hold Charles Lecour back.
England heavily favouring this brace wall. It's definitely working for them. They're managing to kind of big hit. They're taking Charles Lecour off his feet.
Skaranex, I think it was a multiplayer block, judging by what he signalled to his bench as he went past. Both jammers now finding a little tougher. Piston Broke goes on the offense. Angry Bear saw it coming, reacted well. Fish decides to call it off. He wasn't sure, do I recycle? I can't be bothered, let's just end it.
That jam does indeed see England breaking that double century. 206 plays 44, just under 16 minutes remaining of this game.
Where has the time gone?
I literally don't know. The amount of times that I've looked at our game clock today and I've thought, are you seriously? What?
So back to the jam line. 4-on-2 pack advantage for England in the red. It's 100 Alien Al against 223 Pupa Test. So Al last time out with a star had that big jam where he did the jam on jammer hit on the cleaner.
Al very nearly out of that pack. Mirage managing to take him off on turn one. Sets back round.
But Al is through. He is lead jammer. Again, Al is another one who is deceptively strong. He's a lot stronger than you would expect when you first see him. Puppa has the star in his hand, looking for the potential star pass. I say it is Skaranex once more to pivot. He's taken the star pass a couple of times.
I've got to just say, Alien Al just took a pretty big hit round here on turn three, sorry. And Shrooms literally turned him round and aimed him back towards the wall.
Trouble is he's picked up a forearms penalty at some point as well. Puppa Test now has completed his initial pass. So this is the second jam that Puppa Test has had in a row, not two consecutive jams, but his second jam where he's been on a power jam. At least this time he's completed his initial pass. Although Piston Broke is trying to make life difficult for him. Skaranex goes for a direction of play.
Puppa Test being taken off, set back. Angry Bear managing to get a dig in at Shrooms, trying to kind of break up that England wall just a little bit. Meanwhile, Alien Al back on track, still just over 30 seconds remaining of this jam.
And Alien Al does get through, he picks up, it is the full 5.
Piston Broke is stuck to Puppa Test.
Not anymore, he's not, he's going for a direction of play.
Fair enough.
He's going to be stuck to the penalty box for 30 seconds. Big hit,
wow.
Skaranex on Spectral Aberration. Not a sight you see that often.
Mirage just getting his hips over the apex there, taking out Alien Al as he attempted that apex jump.
An Angry Bear doing all sorts of spins at the end to avoid picking up the penalty. 1 more point for Alien Al, 3 more points picked up by Puppa Test. Angry Bear is sat down in the penalty box.
His skip and a jump obviously unsuccessful. Giggity Goo and the cleaner looking to make some headway in this jam.
Just an interesting point of note, I can actually see on the far side, Sully has taken his skates off. Now, as far as I'm aware, he certainly didn't foul out. I don't think he got ejected. I just wonder, because I wondered why Giggity was jamming a lot, and they've broken out of the 4 jammer rotation. So it looks like whether Sully, he played all of the first game. He's obviously playing this one. I wonder whether they're planning to play him tomorrow as well, and decided just rest him and not risk him. Whether he's picked up an injury, we don't know.
Another one of those time will tell. Meanwhile, Giggity on track, lapping up the natural Grand Slams.
Freaky Vassal will go and take a seat in the box. So the cleaner doing his best to try and get through. Giggity picks up 5 more points. England Wolves are something else this weekend.
Absolutely. Ilbilly being goated at the back there and actually using that to his advantage, holding back the cleaner right at the back of the pack, separating him from his blockers.
Giggity gets through for another 5 despite the best efforts of Angry Bear. You've got to think, I mean, this is a very strong blocking performance from England. But when you think that the likes of Geriatric, the likes of Matt Lovin, and the likes of Reanimated GIF, who was the tournament's best blocker at the World Cup last year, are all not dressed for this one, they're all sat watching this, that's quite a scary thought.
A little bit. Well, beware. Meanwhile, the cleaner managing to break through that solid wall of red, only to be met with the 4 whistles of Giggity calling off the jam.
Very interesting to see Alex Tyler there looked extremely frustrated when the cleaner finally made it through. And sort of punching his hand, he was not happy.
Team France calling a team timeout. That was a healthy 17-point jam there for Giggity.
So scores with just under 11 minutes to go. 234 for England and France 47. I don't think people... I'll be honest, I was expecting England to win.
Yep.
Not like this.
No, I definitely thought this was going to be a closer game. And like I said before, the score not reflecting the gameplay. I haven't seen that for a while. There was kind of a period of time where a lot of games, that was kind of how it went. It was like, well, actually, both teams played pretty strong, but it was just those little power jams and those little sort of extra bits of wall work that were making the difference. This one, it's difficult to kind of figure out. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems that it doesn't seem like it's the best part of a 200-point game.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
But again, it was something that we noticed in the Scotland game earlier, that it's just the English defence is so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, in roller derby in general, scores have become lower, and there's also become more and more with offensive blocking becoming a part. But England seem to be built on defence a lot more. Bit of confusion there. Skarenex is going to the box, but Bernie No Hell thought he was going as well, but signalled back on by Cherry Fury. Ooh, Reaper doing the splits, almost taking out Metalhead.
We have had a couple of ref takedowns today.
Mirage is going to take himself to the box. There'll be a no pass, no penalty that will be signalled there, but he'd already passed him once, so he does get the full 5. Sutton Impact is just chest to chest with Rocket Bush. As I say that, of course, Rocket Bush makes his way through.
Rocket Bush still in bounds. He seemed unsure, but his rear wheels hadn't actually touched down out of bounds.
Very close, but Righteous Oxide had a very good view of it. Now he gets the cut. He has got it, but he did fall before the point of no return for the penalty box, so he can go straight in.
You know, I think that in nearly 4 years of calling roll derby, that's only the second time I've seen the body throw where you make sure that you're still within that point of no return.
Reaper at the front, at the back. He was one-on-one with Kendararo, and what we got? We have a blocking out of play. What I think what happened there is... That was terrible English, I'm sorry. What happened there, right? I think what it was, I think it was Kendall Heros. It was at the front, was called out of play, and then Reaper engaged with him. So that is where the blocking out of play you can get as a jammer.
Not seen very often, but it definitely does happen. Meanwhile, jammer switcheroo. Rocket Bush back on track. Nearly so close to picking up some points there, but the jam reaching its natural conclusion. However, with Reaper, it sat in the box still. We will start on a power jam for Team France. And
that will be Charles Lecor. I did wonder if we were going to see an official review, because both benches seem to be unsure about things that happened in that last jam. There was the one just in front of us with Rocket Bush, did he cut? And Shroom certainly seemed sure. I wasn't quite from here, I couldn't tell. But then Rocket Bush wasn't sure that the cut that was given was a cut. But, no, get on with it. So they've got Banks goated at the back, have the French. However, they've not seen Reaper.
Nearly making his way out, but being taken down. Charles Leclerc, your lead jammer.
There's a no pass, no penalty because he was taken down by Angry Bear, but Angry Bear went down as well. Charles Leclerc taken out by Ill Billy and calls it before Reaper can come in. Reaper is holding his left sort of thigh and quad area. Once again, you do wonder with Reaper.
Could just be a little bit of cramp.
Could be.
I personally am a little bit disappointed that we didn't just see some bear-on-bear action. We had Angry Bear and Boss Bear on track at the same time.
I have seen Angry Bear and Roller Polar Bear on bear action when Toulouse quad guards played the Inhuman League a couple of years ago. That was quite funny.
Brilliant. Good stuff.
Back to business.
Back to it, exactly. Back on with the action. Pooper Test and Alienal, thank you. Again, we've got one of those scrum-style packs. Both jammers right. Before I even have a chance to say within it, Pooper Test running around the outside line, picking up lead jammer and what is now a power jam as Alienal heads to the penalty box for a cutting penalty.
I think England jammers don't like it when Pooper jams, not necessarily because of how well he does, but because they always go to the box.
Certainly seems to be a pattern for me.
Although Pooper's going to go as well, Spectral forced the cut. I think Pooper, he tried to get away with it and played Dom, but he knew.
Yeah, he did still have skate on track, but that rear skate had touchdown out of bounds.
And then came back inbound, so we have a jammer Dosido.
Yep, the Okie Kokie this is not. Although, totally unrelated, but slightly reminiscent of warmer times at the futsal arena, I have just seen a large smear of sweat on that wonderful blue floor.
And that's even without Geriatric playing.
Absolutely.
So both jammers back on. Alien now has, I think both have completed their initial pass.
They have.
Did Pippa complete it? I can't remember. We'll find out in a minute.
Lead.
Did he get lead?
He did.
Alien Al's picked up another cut. He's not best pleased, but
those French blockers ecstatic with that cut. There was a cheer that kind of rippled through the hall.
The piston broke. Recycled Pippa Test. Saw he was about to be goated in a burst of speed. In comes the French offense. But the English defense is strong again.
Pooper Test now picking up a cutting. We have apparently opened up a revolving door policy on the jammers.
I'm expecting to see an official review here. I'm expecting a Team France official review. From where we are sat, now we're sat looking straight down the back straight from turns 3 to 2. But we had quite a good angle there. And it looked like Sutton had been hit and gone out of bounds, and put a skate out of bounds. Therefore, can't be cut. So, are they going to call it? Decision, what are they doing? Nope, we're underway. Fish will start with a power jam. No one seemed quite sure what was going on. Skaters moving towards the pivot line. But it is a power jam for the boy Fish. It is lead jam for the boy Fish.
Jam, 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 jam. Fish. Team France now going for that brace wall up front. Angry Bear goated once again at the back.
So I've actually noticed that Angry Bear does seem to have actual proper skate boots. Because if you remember, he always used to skate in those, I think they were Nike trainers, just basically on plate, sort of basketball shoes. Frankenskates, yes.
Frankenskates.
Fish dodges past Bernie No Hannah Mirage. Pooper Test is out of the box. Runs into Boss Bear.
That'll put a stop to many things.
Yeah, looked like Boss Bear was talking to him as he was going back. A little bit talking some smack.
A little bit of trash talking. Pooper Test taking a breather, taking a moment, trying to size up that wall, see where he would be best trying to attack from. Crowd getting behind him now.
Angry Bear just holding his nose, taking his gloves off, holding his nose, but I'm not sure if Fish called that one. That was the end of the jam. I think Fish called that one. I think he took a knock as well. There's some big hits. Nice embrace though there between Ill Billy, Boss Bear and Pooper Test.
I was about to say, these guys are knocking 7 bells out of each other.
I've just looked at the scoreboard. There's 3 minutes left. What the? Where did I go? What?
Sacre bleu.
Yeah, sacre bleu. 3 minutes left. 260 to England, 50 points to France. And we have
an official timeout.
And we are now going to have an official review, I think. Rob Barnes-Graham is going to be looking for an illegal engagement on the cleaner.
Very possibly. Looks like no hurt feelings between skaters, though. As I was going to say before we realised how little time we had left on the clock, I've said it many times before and I don't doubt I'll say it again. There's one thing that I really love about roller derby. These skaters, men, women, juniors, other, spend an hour knocking 7 bells out of each other. But you can guarantee there will be at least 1 point on track between jams where there's a hug or a handshake or even if it's just that little look of respect where a particular blocker or a jammer sort of says, you know what? Yup, you earned that. Between teams, and it's almost as if the aggression on track breeds affection.
I'm wondering what the official timeout was called, because the referees called the timeout to start with. There's a discussion going on between Metalhead and I think that's Feyman Draw. I think it was a clarification of the points. I think there's 1 point has been taken off the England score, as it's gone from 260 to 259.
England bench coach is still stood on track.
So I don't know whether head referee is just going to talk to him and just say, look, we're not going to call that. It was our fault. We were late calling the official timeout, blah, blah, blah. Or whether they are actually going to have an official review. As I say, that's the thing, because with the illegal engagement, whether it be before the whistle or after the whistle, as far as I'm aware, it's like any other normal contact. There has to be an impact. So knocking a skater down, out of bounds, out of position, off track or what have you. And I don't think there was there. Yes, there was contact, but there wasn't. I don't think had that happened, the same contact happened during the jam, there'd have been no penalties called for it.
Yeah.
So Fu Mandrew has just relayed to the house announcers. We'll try and find out for you, and I'll leave you in Snoogan's capable hands for the next few moments while we find out.
Thank you very much. Looks like we are just going to continue on with the game. The cleaner and Giggity, your jammers for this jam. Dare I say an empty penalty box, touch wood. What was the skinny?
Well, you see, they should have just left it to us because it was about the point that had come off that we'd noticed, and that's all it was. Right, ready?
We're just that good.
We are that good. Multiplayer block. I'm waiting to see someone go to the box. Giggity, in the meanwhile, takes a jump. I say it's John Travoltage who's going to the box.
Meanwhile, the cleaner taking some big hits from Piston Broke.
And Sutton impact. Sutton thought he'd drawn the cup, but apparently not.
Skarenex racing to the front of the pack to take on Giggity. Takes him off his feet.
He's there. He's got Hasselhoff there to help him now. Skarenex goes into him again. There is a height difference there. In Giggity's favour, you would say normally, but Skarenex is getting low and driving up. Hasselhoff that time does it. Skarenex with the blocker's apex jump, but he realised that Skarenex touched down on the inside, so he could go through the no pass, no penalty, but he'd already got the 5. Kendall Hello will go and sit down.
I got to say, Piston Broke there trying to go in, get rid of those blockers for Giggity, but that combination of Candeleros, Skarenex, and Hasselhoff, he could only ever get one of them at a time, and the other two were right back there sticking to Giggity.
Although we do have the cleaner, he has made his way through, completed his initial pass. So Giggity up against Jean Travoltage and Hasselhoff. Calls the jam. Minute 18 on the clock, 2:69 at the moment, unless that's going to change, versus 50. And we do have, for certain, we have Rocket Bush. And he will be up against Shrooms.
The young lad Shrooms, Because I understand he's also disgustingly
Yeah,
young.
he's 20. I think he is 21. I think he turned 21 this year. Because I know when he was at Champs last year with Southern Discomfort, he wasn't allowed to drink because he was only 20.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a little bit of jammer on jammer action straight off the line. Rocket Bush taking Shrooms off track. Just setting him back just that little bit.
Boss Bear with the takeout there on Rocket Bush.
I've got to say, I've got to take this opportunity. Not only is the standard of officiating that we've had so far this weekend absolutely top notch, but we've had a couple of instances where particularly jammer refs have taken a bit of a duck or a dive, but they've continued on point. Fu Man drew earlier, jammer thing did take a tumble, but continued to track those points as he fell and recovered. But while I'm flapping my gums, Rocket Bush out of the pack picks up lead jammer status over Shrooms, who then gets taken off.
And this will be the last jam. The period clock has expired. Oh, bodies flying everywhere. Banks and Tyler and Boss Bear between them trying to draw the Ninja Cut. Star Pass has gone to Illbilly. Banks is not happy as he goes to the box. I won't repeat what he said.
Rocket Bush bagging his points in his sac magique and calling off the jam.
So we have your unofficial final score. England 272, France 55.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. It doesn't, it's a 217-point game. It did not feel like that.
Definitely not. That was a hell of a game, and I mean, I've got to say, a lot of the guys skating with Team France skated with Toulouse quad guards at MEC earlier this year.
Yep.
And just the progression in those few months. I've got to point out in particular Angry Bear.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. I am very much looking forward to the games we've got tomorrow as well.
Yeah, first up for, well, like I said, it's a bit different for you guys because obviously you're watching it recorded rather than live. But if you haven't watched it already, I'm going to use my psychic powers here. I believe that the Wales-France game could be a corker tomorrow. I'm not on that call, but I might be here early enough to watch it.
I'm definitely not going to miss that.
Yes, I might have to get myself here early enough to come and get it.
And there you can see Matt Lovin creeping past.
Matt Lovin creeping. Yeah.
I've never seen that before in my life.
Right, I think on that note, we want to wrap things up.
I think we're going to wrap it up.
Snoogans, it has been my genuine pleasure.
I've thoroughly enjoyed that. We've just had a little bit of a FaceTime with, I believe that's Barack Obama.
It is indeed, who is currently on Ascension Island. So,
nice.
Yes, you actually get to look at us and we'll wave at Malice operating the camera. But, yeah.
He's got a degree in it and everything.
Yeah, okay. Right, Snoogans, thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure, King. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Take care. Bye-bye.